Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanson and Stephanie Phillips with another episode of Veterans in Politics. Today, our guest is going to be Diana Sullivan, Las Vegas Justice of the Peace, Department 12. But before we get to Judge Sullivan, Ms. Phillips.
Thanks for joining us, everybody, and thank you to our sponsors. We have Dr. Ari Nagy. He's running for Congressional District 3. His website is nagyforcongress.com, and that's F-O-R, nagyforcongress.com. Jump on his website and check out his platform. We also have Henderson's Mayor, Michelle Romero. She's running for re-election. Her website is votemichelleromero.com. votemichelleromero.com. Jump on her website and get in touch with her. And we also have Cody K. Whipple. He is running for Congressional District 4. His website is codykforcongress.com, and that's the number 4, codykforcongress.com. Jump on his website and check out his platform. Also, don't forget to grab your copy of Steve's book, How to Navigate Nevada's Family Court System. You can get a copy on Amazon. It is $14.99. If you are a litigant in family court and you don't have an attorney and can't afford one, this book is a self-help book and it will help you navigate that system. So you'll want to get a copy. Also, we have a merch store. It's vipimerch.com, vipimerch.com. There's all kinds of fun stuff for you to check out on there. And don't forget to grab your tickets to our Valentine's Ball, and that is happening February 7th of 2026. Thank you to everybody who has already bought tickets and you have saved money because we have early bird tickets on sale now, and the price is going to go up again pretty soon to the regular price. So you're going to want to take advantage of these early bird tickets, and the link to those tickets are on our Facebook pages. Also, we are going to be in the Veterans Day Parade. We're going to have a Veterans in Politics. We're going to have a convertible and a banner. And if you guys want to come down and join us, grab your Veterans in Politics t-shirt. If you don't have one, we can get one to you, and come help us celebrate veterans on that day. For my rant, this is day 29 of the government shutdown. And this is just so pathetic what is happening. Chuck Schumer and company, and the Senate Democrats are keeping the government shut down because they want $200 billion to go for illegal health care. They want $4 million to go for the global LGBTQI plus awareness campaign overseas. They want $2 million to go to the Feminist Democrat Principles Project in Africa, among a whole lot of other things that they want the American taxpayer to pay for. And then you hear this Democrat representative from New Mexico, she's on the news saying that the Trump administration is starving children because the SNAP benefits are going to end this Saturday. That is such a lie. He is not starving children. The reason those benefits are going to end is because the Democrat Senate will not vote on a clean bill to get this government back open, the CR. So, and then we have Aaron Ford, who is our attorney general here in Nevada, and is suing the Trump administration because of the SNAP benefits that are ending on Saturday. And Aaron, you're running for governor. What I would say is, how about do something useful instead of suing, because that's your answer to everything. Don't sue him. Call your Democrat friends in the Senate and tell them to vote to open the government and stop putting American taxpayers on the hook to pay for illegal immigrants' health care. And also, just so you guys know, I didn't know this, I saw this today, 59% of all SNAP recipients are illegal aliens. Can you imagine? We're paying for that. Also, what's stunning too, the Democrats want to sue Trump for finding the money to pay the military for the rest of this month. My son is in the Army and he depends on that paycheck, and he is a young adult, just got married. So bravo, President Trump, for finding that money to pay our military troops to defend and keep our country safe. So I just think it's appalling what they are doing. And also, Congress, you shouldn't be taking a paycheck. None of you should be taking a paycheck while this government is shut down.
I agree with that.
Amen. I mean, that is
both
just
Congress and the Senate should take a paycheck when the
no.
parliament
I don't care.
shut down.
None of them. None of them should. So they should all voluntarily. It shouldn't take a bill to have them stop getting their salary. Why should they get paid and the military not get paid? Why should they get paid and these people that need these SNAP benefits to feed their children? I don't even know how they can do it. Just anyway.
Well, thank you for that.
And one more thing too, because this has come up. Our rants are our opinion. They don't have anything to do with our guest, not their opinion. The sponsors we have, they are not endorsing. This is all our opinion. So I just want to make that clear.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Judge Sullivan.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming.
I'm echoing. I told you
coming on the program.
I didn't need a microphone.
Could you give us a bio, please?
Sure. My name is Diana Sullivan. I am just.
You're 5 what?
Pardon?
You're 5 foot what? You like long walks on the
I'm
beach?
5'2".
You like
no, I
picnic
like
baskets?
short walks on the beach.
Oh, short walks. Okay.
I love sports. But anyway, I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I'm Justice of the Peace in Las Vegas Justice Court, Department 12, and I've been there this is my 17th year. I was born and raised in Las Vegas.
Let me stop you right there.
Yes.
17th year. You think about running for district court judge? No.
No.
You want to run for Supreme Court?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, please.
But thank you for asking.
Okay.
I
messed you up, didn't I?
No, it's okay. I mean, obviously, I was born and raised here, so I went to school here. I went to, Gibson Junior High. I went to Ruth Fife Elementary, if you know where that is, on Bonanza. I went to Western High School, so I'm a proud Western High School alum. And then I went to college at the University of Nevada, Reno, and I studied criminal justice and accounting. And then I went to the University of San Diego for law school at, way back when, 30 some years ago. We did not have a law school in Nevada at all. Not an accredited one. There was a non-accredited one in Northern Nevada, but
I'm trying to pull your bio right now.
Oh, well, I'm telling it to you, though.
I just want to make sure you don't leave anything out.
So I went to the University of San Diego for law school, and then I returned to Nevada and started practicing law.
Okay. Did you go to Boyd?
No, I went. Is he listening?
No, he's not. He's too busy
I know,
looking at your bio to make sure you don't.
I went to the University of San Diego.
San Diego.
And I like short walks on the beach.
Short walks on the beach. Please continue.
And then I returned to Nevada. If you were also listening, which you weren't, Steve, it's okay. Boyd was not around then because I went to law school 36 years ago.
That was just a trick question for you.
Oh, okay. No, Boyd was not a twinkle in it. Maybe it was a twinkle in somebody's eye, but probably not.
Okay.
And then I returned to Nevada and I practiced law for 16 years. I practiced business and real estate, corporate litigation. Okay. And then I ran in 2008, I ran for a new seat on the Las Vegas Justice Court, which is Department 12. And I was elected in 2008, and then I re-ran in 14, and re-ran in 2020.
So you're going up for re-election again?
Yes, I'm up next year. My term next year will be my 6th year in my third term. Sorry.
So have you ever considered any of the other benches, appellate maybe? Or?
Well, when I first ran for the Justice Court, in my mind, because when I practiced civil litigation, my almost entire practice was in district court. Okay. I did do quite a lot of commercial eviction work, which was in justice court for summary evictions and such. So I kind of had a plan, or so I thought. It was a plan at the time, to serve one term in justice court and then run for district court, where kind of my practice, where I was used to. But I loved justice court so much that I had a change of plans.
What do you love about it?
I love dealing with all the different people that come in front of us. Good, bad, indifferent, best times, worst times, usually not good times. But and in district court, pretty much everybody's represented by counsel. On the criminal side, it's all felonies or gross misdemeanors. They're not doing traffic tickets or protection orders, or for the most part. So I really like dealing with people, and we are a people's court, frankly. The justice court is kind of, and this is not probably it's a term I use, but I don't try to use it in a poor fashion. But we are the kind of the kitchen sink of the justice system.
Why'd you say that?
Well, because we handle everything. I mean, in the kitchen sink, everything's in there, right? A fork, a spoon, a knife, a cup, a baby bottle.
Yeah,
And
Not in my sink.
explain that to the audience, because people get the different courts, confused in what you actually handle and what you do.
Well, it was interesting because I was actually going to bring this big board that I have that I use a lot when I go out and speak. And it's the hierarchy and the description of all the courts, but I didn't want to bombard you with this
perfect.
board. I would have done it, but I'm sorry I didn't. But I mean, that's what I really love to do when I talk to people in public, is educate them about the different courts.
Yeah.
Of course, if you only have 5 or 10 minutes to do that, you have to do it very quickly. But what I've learned over the course of elections is that the general public do not understand the difference in the courts and what the different courts do and who's going to be on their ballot, which judicial candidates are going to be on their ballot. So that's the first topic I usually hit if I go out and speak to groups. But I mean, municipal court obviously are city courts. So they are courts within the city jurisdiction. So the incorporated city, which frankly, Las Vegas itself, as we know Las Vegas, only a small portion of it is within the incorporated city. Most of it is within the county. So the Strip is in the unincorporated Clark County. I always look at it like everything north of Sahara is the city, but then that's not even really true because there's all these pockets and it's like it's a map. So municipal court does everything in the city, but they only do misdemeanor crimes. There are a few weird little lien issues they do, but for the most part, misdemeanor crimes. And then justice court is a township, which doesn't incorporate the entire valley. There's a Henderson Township, and again, it's a map. There's a Henderson Township, there's a North Las Vegas Township, a Mesquite Township, a Las Vegas Township. And so the justice courts, we handle civil and criminal. So the civil cases, we handle, disputes over money up to $15,000. As part of that, a branch of the civil department is the small claims department. We handle all of the evictions in the township, in the Las Vegas Township. Of course, Henderson and North Las Vegas are handling evictions that are in their township. Right. We handle protection order applications that are not domestic violence related. If they are domestic violence related, they go to family court. But anything else, neighbors, new girlfriend versus old girlfriend, I mean, the whole 9 yards, we handle all that.
When did that happen? I thought you have to have a family court case to go to family court with DV.
No, they do domestic violence protection orders. As a matter of fact, I think they have a hearing master that might do that.
Really?
A judicial officer that handles those on an emergency basis.
So JPs don't handle any DVs at all?
In Clark County, no. It's statutorily driven, and in counties in X amount of population, we do not handle the DV applications because they all go to family court because the larger counties...
Even if you don't have a family court case?
Correct.
Oh, I thought DV was just criminal, period.
No, if a boyfriend and a girlfriend, if an ex-boyfriend, let's say, is stalking an ex-girlfriend, that's domestic related because they had a former dating or intimate relationship. So the girlfriend can try to get a protection order against the boyfriend in family court. Get a domestic violence protection order. He doesn't have to be charged with domestic violence.
Did that change over the years? Because I was always under the impression that all DV cases were criminal and they go to justice of the peace.
Well, it's not a DV criminal case. A protection order is actually under our statute. A protection order is a civil case.
Order.
Yes, correct.
Oh, you're not talking about?
No. I'm just talking
You're not talking about somebody's in your courtroom because they had a domestic violence over the weekend.
Well, they are in justice court if it happened within the unincorporated county.
So it goes right to justice court.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm talking about protection orders.
Okay.
So we specifically do not handle domestic violence protection order applications, but we handle all other protection order applications.
I'm clear now.
Okay. So that's kind of the civil arena, right? We talked about money disputes, evictions, protection orders. Okay. And then on the criminal side, we handle misdemeanors from beginning to end, so that occur in the unincorporated county, because remember, muni court's doing the criminal misdemeanors in the incorporated city. And so we have full jurisdiction over the misdemeanors through trial and sentencing.
Okay.
And then for gross misdemeanors and felonies, we do the beginning procedures of those. So we review for appropriate probable cause for arrest. We sign arrest warrants. We have a full initial appearance court that operates 365 days a year.
Okay.
That sees arrestees within about 8 to 16 hours of their arrest to review their custody and release conditions.
Okay.
And then, the criminal case will get assigned to one of the JPs. We have 2 full domestic violence departments, 1 DUI department. And then we have what I call the cats and dogs. Like we do the cats and dogs. Like I'm a general criminal judge, so that's my docket. So we do everything else, right? All the cats and dogs. And then, we read them the charges when the complaint is filed. We appoint them counsel. We may review custody if their custody hasn't been reviewed in the basement and initial appearance court. And then we set their preliminary hearing.
In the basement.
Sorry, it's where it is.
She's talking about you, Judge Baucom.
Yes, Judge
Are all
Baucom's
of-
in the basement.
Not all the JPs are in the basement. How many?
No, only one.
No,
Judge
Judge
Baucom.
Baucom.
Yeah, just Bach.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I
the
thought-
courtroom's
yeah,
there.
I thought
Her chambers aren't there.
I thought she was being punished.
No.
That's why they put her
Yeah.
in the basement. And then
No,
she told me no, it's because of
no.
the tunnel and.
Yeah, that's where. Well, because
It's easy to
the
transport.
courthouse down there in the basement is connected to the jail, just via a door, really, and a hallway. So it's much easier to transport a
Yeah.
lot of arrestees into that rather than taking them up and down the elevators. Yeah, and there's a lot of bodies, right? I mean, they're transporting probably 70 a day.
Wow.
Just 35 on each docket. That changes, but probably an average of at least 60 or 65 a day. One, a group in the morning and a group in the afternoon. So it's just easier to move bodies around in that, and that's what those courtrooms were built for.
Do you have a specialty court?
Do I cover a specialty court? No, I do not.
Have you ever covered one in the 16, 17 years you've been on?
No, I have not.
How come? I figured you'd be like a specialty court judge. How come you never had a specialty
honestly,
court? Yeah, honestly. Don't lie to me.
no, I'm not going to lie to you, Steve. I feel like
She knows better.
I feel like I'm probably a little too rigid for a specialty court, to be honest with you.
Explain, what does that mean?
Well, I think you have to be very fluid
Okay.
in, people who violate conditions and fall off and things like that. And I really respect our specialty court judges. I don't think it's something I would enjoy.
Okay.
I do enjoy, handling my criminal docket, but for my extracurricular activities, I enjoy working on processes and policies behind the scenes, trying to improve the system as a whole, trying to come up with local rules, amend local rules, amend, statewide rules. So I'm more of like a policy and procedure type person.
Gotcha. How many departments are in the Justice of the Peace?
16.
16.
No, is it 16? Yeah,
Okay.
16, sorry.
Have you
Because
ever-
it just keeps growing.
Have you ever been chief?
No, by choice.
Really?
Mhm.
Why?
I do
Oh,
not want to
she's
be.
rigid. I forgot.
I think it's honestly it's just a thankless job.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of extra work.
Well, I mean, right now I'm vice chief, and our chief.
What do they do, vice chief?
Well, yeah, right. We do.
Back up in
In
case
case
chief,
the chief-
chief is
no,
on vacation.
That's not true. We do a lot of work, actually, a lot of hands-on work. So, working on processes, things like that, things that the chief is too busy to handle, right? Because I figure the chief is or the chief should be at the 64,000-foot level, kind of really overseeing big operations of the court, where the vice chief should be handling things that they don't have time to handle because they're busy elsewhere. And I am more than happy to do that. I'm a worker bee. If you give me a task, I'm probably 98% chance going to do it.
Are you on search warrant duty? How many times does that happen?
Right now, am I on search warrant?
No.
duty?
I know
Oh,
right
gosh,
now
no,
you're
because I
not,
couldn't be
'cause you
doing
couldn't be
this.
here.
Yeah, right, exactly.
How many times does that happen?
Well, there's 16 of us, so we do every 16 weeks.
Okay.
So every
once a
4
week?
months. No, every 16 weeks, we're on for a week.
Oh, okay, got you.
And we're on 24/7.
Okay.
And so, the phone is nonstop. I do keep track of the search warrant applications or try my best. Sometimes at 3 or 4 in the morning, it's a little hard to add to your log. or if they're coming in at rapid fire. And, as you hang up with one, you're returning a phone call of another. Sometimes I'll miss them, but I keep a log. And on average, we do the on-call judge for justice court will do anywhere between 75 and 125 warrants in 7 days.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Do you
a
swear
lot.
them over
It's
the
a
phone?
lot.
How do you do it? You have them swear over the phone?
It depends on the warrant.
Okay.
Sometimes if it's not a rush, and they write it down and then they email it to you, and it's sworn under the declaration of penalty of perjury, and then you review it. If it's not a rush, you review it during business hours or at 8:00 at night. Whenever you're in between innings of the World Series, whatever.
So what would you do?
But a lot of them are by telephone. Okay. If it's emergent, they're maybe at a location that they need to search and the location is frozen. Of course, the DUI warrants, those are emergent. Those come through an app, which is actually very cool. They do. And since that's not being recorded, we do swear them in, and then they send you the application through the app. And then we review it, and if we approve it, then we kind of digitally sign it, if you will, and send it back. And it's a pretty quick process because, there's a 2-hour limit of, you'd like to have the blood drawn within 2 hours.
Have you ever turned down anybody and said, "Oh, no, I'm not signing that search warrant"?
Yes.
You have.
Yes. Many times.
And
I've been on the bench for 17 years, so yes.
What do you look for when you sign off on a search warrant?
When I approve it?
When you approve it, yes.
Well, I look for probability and not possibility.
Okay. What does that mean?
The ones that I will typically not grant or only partially grant, when they tell me it is possible, we will find this property at this location. And then I say, well, that's not the standard that I need to review. I need to determine that it is probable that you're going to find this specific property at this specific premise. I typically don't ask questions to try to draw that information out. Sometimes I'll ask a question because maybe I just feel like they've just erroneously left something out that's obvious. They're in a rush and they're in a very dynamic situation too. They're usually in their car or something, reading it to you. But yes, I've rejected ones as well. I mean, you should reject one if you're not finding probable cause. It's a huge impact on somebody's privacy, whether it's a car, whether it's a phone,
or their blood,
a house,
or
their
blood.
Once
in a while, they have the completely wrong description of the suspect.
Of the suspect or the suspect location or the location?
Suspect themselves. Who is that guy? Forget.
Well, I mean, I don't know who their suspect is, right? I mean, I'm not there. Yeah. So if they describe the suspect,
she's referring to the Trevon Cole case when when the suspect was smaller than the actual door they broke into Trevon Cole.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They're saying they're looking for Trevon Cole, and they're giving me, description. I don't know Trevon Cole from Adams.
Right.
What happened in that case is that they provided a criminal history of a different Trevon Cole.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I mean that came out.
So what would you do when you find out if a detective or an officer is misleading you?
Well, I don't know how you would ever find that out. Certainly, if I signed a warrant pursuant to some affidavit, and then for some reason the case was just randomly assigned to me, right? Once the case got filed, and it was randomly assigned to me, now I'm starting to hear evidence. I'm starting to hear evidence from witness testimony, see surveillance and such. That would probably be the only way that I can think of off the top of my head right now that you would know. In the Trevon Cole case, I mean, obviously, unfortunately, Mr. Cole was killed during that search warrant. So that was big media attention. And then, so of course, the media is all over it. The district attorney's all over it, what happened. And so that's when it came out. But obviously, it took something very bad to happen for it to come out that he gave me a criminal history. No, I don't know that would have changed my mind. I mean, I don't know. I don't really remember the facts. That wasn't, his criminal history was not what hinged the probable cause, that was the hinging of the probable cause. Absolutely not. But he was, if I remember, they were saying that he was selling marijuana. And then when they ended up killing him or he died, he didn't have a weapon in his hand. I do remember that. He had like chapstick in his hand.
Yeah, I saw
So,
the photos of the aftermath
oh,
of the deceased Trevon Cole, and it was very disturbing to me when I saw the photos. So
I didn't see those.
I
I
was,
remember all I did
was involved
afterwards
in
was
that
I
in that
agreed to
case.
unseal the warrant because,
Yeah.
of course, everybody wanted it.
Yeah.
So, because there wasn't a criminal case, because obviously Mr. Cole had been killed, there wasn't a criminal case. So they asked me to unseal the warrant. Of course, I will do that. So then it was for everybody to see.
Yeah. Ms. Phillips?
I want to talk about bail for a minute because I know there's guidelines that you guys follow for whatever crime and how much bail that you can set.
Kind
Is
of.
there kind of?
Not
But
really, but okay.
but also I've
Uh,
heard this, and
okay.
you clarify. But sometimes we see where there's a really low bail amount for some crimes and criminals, and I see this across the country, not only here. So can you explain to everybody if you have guidelines, what those are, how much discretion you have when you set a bail? What does that criteria look like?
Sure. So let me just tell you kind of how the system works. When somebody is arrested, they're booked into the jail, into the county jail, and immediately they are assigned what we call a standard bail. So that is off of a schedule and a standard bail schedule, and it is there are bail amounts assigned to certain categories of crimes. So a B felony offense might have $10,000. A different B felony offense might be $5,000.
And
It's
what
just
is
all over.
what's a B felony?
Well, A is the worst,
Okay.
obviously,
Okay.
and then B's are really broad. They could be something really serious like robbery with use, or something not so serious like a theft or something. They're kind of across the board. So the B felonies are a little difficult, and then you have C, D, and I think there's still E felonies. I'm not sure because they changed some of the E felonies, but in any event, so if somebody is arrested, they are immediately in the booking of area of the jail. They're given a standard bail, and they're told what the standard bail is, and it's written right on their temporary custody record. So if they have the ability, either themselves or a family member, to post that amount of bail, let's say it's $5,000, okay, then they can post a bail before a judge ever reviews a probable cause, or they go to initial appearance court for custody review. Okay, so if they post that $5,000 in my example, they're out and under that standard bail without anybody looking at it. So sometimes it is problematic if, for instance, it's a victim crime, and maybe had a judge looked at it, there would have been a no contact order issued or something. But now a judge isn't looking at it because they're already out. They're out on bail. Now,
regardless of crime?
Well, there's a few crimes that do not have a standard bail.
Oh.
All A felony offenses
Exactly.
do not have a standard bail.
Okay.
Murder, sex assault,
Okay.
high-level trafficking.
Okay.
There are a handful of crimes that are what we call a set in court bail, SIC. So if you ever see SIC on any of our Odyssey forms, that's what it is, set in court. That's what it means. So if they post bail, then they're just given a court return date. Now, on their court return date, the district attorney might stand up and say, he bailed out before there was any judicial review of this case. We would like you to issue a no contact order with the victim. So, when the person comes in front of the judge, once the case has been filed, there can be some requests made. If the person cannot post the standard bail, then that's when they go to initial appearance court. Judge Baucom's in initial appearance court right now, Monday through Thursday. We do have judicial officers Friday through Sunday. Like I said, 365 days a year. And now a judicial officer is reviewing for probable cause. Was there probable cause for the arrest? Basically for the continued detention of the person. And then there's argument. There's a district attorney team there. There's a public defender team there. So everybody is appointed a public defender. Even if maybe they end up retaining private counsel, they are appointed counsel. And we hold a pretrial release hearing, basically. And under the statutes, there are guidelines. There are 9 or 10 factors that we look at. There's nothing that requires us to weigh one factor more than the other. So the factors could be, the factors are, not could be. The factors are, do they have contacts with the community? Do they have people in the community that can vouch for them? Are they employed? Do they have stability factors such as a home, a phone, somewhere that would something that would get them to court? The serious nature of the crime. Can they afford bail? That's another factor.
Is it a problem for most people to afford bail? Or would you
I
say
would say
most
yes.
okay.
I would say the majority of the people do not bail out on the standard bail schedule. Because
Okay.
keep in mind, if they're arrested for 3 charges, it's, I'm just going to say, robbery, burglary, ownership of possession of firearm by prohibitor, whatever, 20, 10, and 5. Okay, that's all of a sudden 35,000 bail. If
Yeah.
you go see the judge, now the judge is looking at the case as a whole, right? Not compartmentalizing them. The judge is looking at whole. We're looking at risk assessments. We have a Nevada pretrial risk assessment that we look at. That includes criminal history. That includes a scoring, and our pretrial services department scores it under a validated statistical tool, and which took 4 years in the making, by the way, and it's not perfect. But they score, this person is a low risk to reoffend or fail to appear, this person is a moderate risk, or this person is a high risk. And the judges, whenever they're reviewing release conditions, they have the risk assessment tool in front of them. They have the criminal history, the number of failures to appear. And so you take all that into account, the probability of conviction, which, at that point, it's kind of a one-sided, right? It's like a one-sided story, right? All you really have is the arrest report. And that contains a lot of hearsay. But so it is honestly like a one-sided story, but they are appointed counsel, and the counsel can give us mitigating factors and anything. So then the judge just makes a determination. Maybe the person's OR'd, released on just their promise to appear. Maybe they're OR'd with a no contact order with the named victim. Maybe they're OR'd with a stay away condition from the Walgreens that this allegedly happened at.
Do you set a higher bail? Are you more strict with the people that have been, have been arrested repeatedly and have, a record a mile long, so to speak? Because we've seen nationally where these judges just keep letting these people out, but you look at their arrest history and the crimes they've already committed, and they just keep going out, but then they keep letting them out on the street, and then they, offend again. So,
well, I mean, obviously there's huge bail reform going on within the in the country, and when you say the judges just keep letting people out, I mean, we are confined to the law, whether that be statutory law that might be being passed in these states that you're talking about, or case law by, Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court, Nevada Supreme Court. We had a very seminal case come out in, God, I don't even know now, 2021. It's the Valdez Jimenez case. And so from the Nevada Supreme Court, and it really, really cracked down on money bail. So, it's like a 25-page decision. I don't know if you've ever read it, but it's a very interesting read. The first 9 pages is like standing, so you can skip all that. But it really does get into a very elaborate discussion over money bail. One of my kind of schools of thought is bail's doesn't really protect the community unless you set it at something so high that the person can't get out.
Yeah.
But who knows what that is, right? There are sometimes somebody might set a bail at $200,000 thinking, okay, that's going to keep this person in. And the next thing you know, they're out of custody on $200,000 bail. Yeah. Now see how that worked. And that's really not the purpose of bail, is to keep people in. I mean, the federal system, you're either in or you're out. I mean, if you're out, you probably don't have any bail, but you might have some supervision, like, a pretrial officer, a supervising officer. We don't have that luxury. And we don't have a crystal ball. So we have to make the best decisions we can with a lot of cases in front of us, and in a vacuum with very limited information about the case and about the defendant. And it can always be revisited if it needs to be. But I don't like. I didn't say I don't like. I just think judges really, I think, try to follow the law for the most part. I mean, I know I do, and I know my brethren do. So sometimes, I always say, don't hate the judge, hate the law. Because if
Yeah.
I'm just applying the law and you
the
think
law,
it's unfair,
some laws need to change
yeah,
because
I
of
mean,
things like this.
it's like the presumption of innocence. I
Mhm.
mean, we have a presumption of innocence in this country, and I know that's not popular, but with some people and in some circumstances. But the bottom line is we have to apply the presumption of innocence.
Yeah. How often do you put a tracking monitor on, like an ankle monitor or something like that?
Um, how often? Well, Judge Bauckham would typically do it because she's typically reviewing everybody's their conditions, and then we just get it for the case. Now, there's sometimes that they won't appear in front of in the basement for some reason. Maybe they were being ornery or they were detoxing or something, so they didn't make it to the basement hearing. So then we do set release conditions, and I would say, I mean, obviously, more serious crimes. I won't put somebody on a monitor typically for like a theft crime or something.
They might steal the monitor.
Or right. We had to start doing, because they were losing all of our equipment, like the phones, they were losing the phones for them to check in, they were losing. So now I think our pretrial services gives them a gift card if they return the equipment.
Oh, get out of town.
That's
Oh my
ingenious. It's like $10 or something.
But that adds up.
Well, yeah, but
who pays for that?
I don't.
The taxpayers pay for that.
Yeah, but guess what? If they don't bring the phone back,
Then you charge them for
then
it.
okay, we're really gonna. We did try that. We tried that for about a year. Nobody was paying for their lost phones. You can't incarcerate somebody for that. What do you want me to do? Incarcerate somebody because they didn't pay for $100 for the lost phone? No.
So what laws would you like to see gone?
Or changed. That are problematic that you continuously see.
Or add one or two.
Well, in the perfect world, which we don't have, meaning monetarily, money resources, I do like the federal system where a judge determines that you are either too high of a risk to run, to flee.
And that's the judge's discretion.
Yeah. That you're either too high of a risk that you're going to flee, or that you're too dangerous of a person to let out, so you're going to be in until trial. Or I can release you with a supervising officer and have a supervising officer tend to you and check in with you.
Probation officer.
Yeah, like a pretrial probation officer. And that's how the federal system works. It takes the money bail argument both ways, right? Out of the equation. Because like I say, someone might set a bail that is very high thinking that it's going to keep them in, and then they're out. And then where did that get you? Where did that get you as a judge? And it happens a lot with the DAs. The DAs will ask for $50,000, and even if you grant that $50,000 request, it's very difficult to go above that because of the Valdez Jimenez case. There have been a couple of judges that have been basically their release decisions have been overturned. For instance, a DA asked for, in the example that I can think of, the DA asked for $25,000 bail, and the judge set it at $35,000. Because that's what she felt was appropriate. And that got appealed to the district court, writted basically, and it was returned, and it was returned reversed. And the district court didn't say, you were wrong, you can't go over what the district attorney asked for. They implied it. But they did say you need to make a better record. If you're gonna give release conditions more than what the district attorney is requesting, you need to make a better record.
I've never heard of a JP talk about the federal system before. Do you have any ambition to be a federal judge?
Gosh, the only ambition I would have is that you're appointed for life until you want to retire. But have you ever been over there? It's like a ghost town. I mean, it's very solemn and everything, but it's like a ghost town. It's a ghost town.
Did you go Fridays?
I practice. I don't know if you've ever been in the federal courthouse, but what's really cool, in the back of the house, their jury rooms, it's a circular table.
How do you know about that?
Because I've been back there.
What you doing? Like?
I go to memorials for judges and attorneys. I've, practiced in federal court before I took the bench.
You were with Jones and Vargas at one time, no?
Yes, it started out as Jones, Close and Brown, and then it merged with Vargas and Bartlett in Reno, and so it became Jones Vargas.
Yeah, there used to be one of our attorneys, Jones and Vargas, well, the law firm actually, back in the day.
Who? Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
I left there in 2000. I was born and raised there, I say, but I left in 2004. I was a partner there, but then I left in 2004 to open up my own firm with one other
And
partner.
it was about the same time.
Oh, okay.
I want
They
to
were
ask,
wonderful, wonderful
Yes,
lawyers and
yes.
wonderful people.
yes. I want to ask you about your recusal list. Do you have one?
Yes,
How many people in there?
maybe 5. I have my husband, obviously, because my
You
husband
wanna do a shout
practices
out?
law.
You want to do a shout out to Sean?
I can't do that ethically, but
You
so I'm
can-
not going to. Oh, hi, Sean. I thought you meant like shout him out as like a good lawyer or something. I don't know if he's watching, but I think he's watching the World Series. I'm pretty sure he's watching the World Series. Yeah, so obviously he's on my list. My former law partner, just the one I went into business with, is on my recusal list. And I think 3 opponents are on the recusal list.
That makes
Well,
sense, though.
And it's not that I couldn't be unbiased, but it's not. People get this
Ran
confused.
Against me, you.
People get this confused. It's
the
not an.
appearance.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you,
the
Stephanie.
appearance.
It's the appearance of impropriety or
Mhm.
bias.
Yeah.
And so while I say to self, I could be totally unbiased. I mean, can I? And what if you were the litigant? What would you think? So it's the appearance of impropriety.
Mhm. I think that's smart to do. I think all judges should consider that and take, and maybe they all have them on their recusal list, but that makes absolute sense to me.
It's very hard for our rural JPs, like in Goldfield,
Yeah, right.
Hawthorne.
Mhm.
So where everybody knows the judge, Tonopah, right? Everybody knows the judge, and the judge knows everybody. So there's no one. If you recuse yourself, there's no
Where are you
other
gonna
judge.
go?
Right?
Yeah.
We have 16 of us, so it's good.
Yeah.
We just like do some weird rolling of the dice. The clerks do it. I don't know, and it gets
Yeah.
randomly
They'd have to
reassigned.
change jurisdictions and go down the road.
And down
Yeah.
the road could be 120
2
miles.
hours away.
Yeah, so they really have trouble with that, and they are always looking for guidance on ethical recusals and such. Of course, you have to recuse if you're, if you feel a bias, but it's really the perception that is important.
Yeah.
For what the parties in front of you think, and the public, and everybody else.
Yeah.
Ms. Phillips, do you have anything else for
I
yourself?
just wanted, if you can think of your worst moment and best moment or cases while you've been on the bench. The worst thing that has happened and best thing.
I can't.
I think all kind of runs together.
It does all kind of run together. Today was a good day in court.
Oh, good.
Some days are not so good, and I'm not saying today was the best day, don't get me wrong, but today I kind of felt like there were people struggling that I didn't expect to come back to court, and I didn't expect for them to do their requirements. Maybe several of them were unhoused, and so it's just hard for them to get to court.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had this one lady today, and she came back, and she was dressed so nice, and her hair was done, and I was like, Miss, we'll call her Doe, Miss Jane Doe. Miss Doe, you look so nice today. You're so put together. And she was like, well, thank you. And then she was supposed to be doing some treatment, but they're having trouble getting her treatment because she doesn't have insurance and she doesn't really have anything. But hasn't picked up any new misdemeanors. She usually picks up quality of life misdemeanors, trespasses and things like that. She hasn't picked up anything since February.
Good.
And she's going to the Triangle Club, and she's going to NA meetings, and so she's really trying.
Yeah.
And
Good.
so it was a good day. And I had several people like that. Sometimes, it started out really bad. I had to take a recess. I had to walk up and down the hall because it started out really bad. But then we regrouped. There was a phone going off.
Yeah, no.
There was a phone going off. There was somebody in a tube top coming through the well, and I was like, I have to take a break.
Well, Judge Sullivan, we have another guest coming on, and it was an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming.
I'm sorry I talked a lot.
No.
Okay.
That's called a talk show.
Okay.
It's a talk show. Mark's going to zoom in on you, and you could say whatever you want. Vote for me, DS, whatever you want to talk about. Diane Sullivan.
Diana.
Diana
But yes,
Sullivan.
I can go to anything.
And your point of contact if you want to give it your campaign stuff like that.
Okay. I don't know if I have any right now, but or go Knights, go Dodgers, go Chargers. I have all the teams. Well, I mean, what I would say is don't believe everything you see on the media, And don't believe everything you hear on the streets about judges. If you want to know about judges and learn about judges yourself, you should do what Stephanie and Steve do, which I really respect, that you come into the courtrooms and you observe. And you can observe on Zoom, you can observe in person, because I really think you get you get a better flavor of the judge's temperament, how they're treating people, how fast they have to move, whether they're prepared. You get a much better flavor if you observe rather than listening to your neighbor or watching the news. And yes, I am up for re-election in 2026. And I always say I'm the very last person on the entire ballot. Yes, because for some reason, my department is always the last one on the entire ballot, because 13, 14, 15, and 16 don't run with me.
Yeah.
But yes, I would love to be reelected again. I love my job.
Absolutely. Well, Judge Sullivan, thank you so much for being on the program. Ms. Phillips, thank you. Folks, that's Diane Sullivan, Las Vegas Justice of the Peace, Department 12. Diana Sullivan, Las Vegas Justice of the Peace, Department 12. And we just want people to be informed and educated on the judges and the judicial candidates that are coming on our show. So when you go to the voting booth, you'll be an educated voter. This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips with Veterans in Politics. Don't go away, folks. We have another show. Thank you so much.